You're best known for playing Edward Elric in Fullmetal Alchemist. What brought you to that project originally, and what made you come back for the Brotherhood series?
Well, I had been voice acting for several years before I got into Fullmetal. I had probably done 20 or 30 shows, and I had started working with Funimation in Dallas. I'd done Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Kitty Grade, Spiral, Detective Conan, and then Funimation got the license to Fullmetal Alchemist, and they asked me if I would audition for it, and I did, and was just very, very fortunate to get cast to play Ed, and it's been like my favorite thing that I've ever done. I've done a lot of great shows, and several of them run a very close second place, but Edward Elric and Fullmetal Alchemist have got to be my favorite.
What makes Fullmetal your favorite?
I think what makes Fullmetal my favorite is that it has everything that you love about anime all rolled into one. It's amazing music, amazing story, amazing characters. Animation is great, a great cast of people. Just everything about it is just so engaging. Edward Elric is such a kind of a tragic hero. He's kind of a flawed hero, and I've always loved those kind of characters.
Could you explain the story of Fullmetal Fantasy for those that haven't seen it?
Well, Fullmetal Fantasy, for those of you that haven't seen it, was a little fun fan film that I made. Just to let you know, I mean, so you know what a huge fan I was of Fullmetal Alchemist. Shortly after we started the series, I decided I wanted to dress up like Ed, and I should get the other actors to dress up like their characters, and we should make some funny little crazy film. So I made up this little story of a fanboy who he gets one of the pocket watches in the mail, one of the State Alchemist watches, and he falls asleep. The State Alchemist watch has magic powers, and it starts turning him into an anime character. So he runs out of the house and he's looking for help. He goes to the doctor. He's trying to figure out what's wrong. What's going on? Why am I changing into Edward Elric? And he keeps seeing all of these characters from the show all over town. It's a lot of fun. We have several of the voice actors playing their characters in it, and had a wonderful time. I've shown it exclusively at conventions. But sometime very soon, I'm going to be releasing a live concert video where I think I'm going to include.
Because I was in an interview with Anime News Network, you were quoted as saying, one of my goals with voice acting is to record in all the major places where dubbing is done. How long exactly is that list, and how many places have you crossed off of it?
It's not a long list. There's Houston and Dallas and Los Angeles and New York City. And I've had the privilege to record roles in shows in all of those places. The only place that I haven't gotten is Vancouver, but that's because I'm not Canadian. I could have. They wanted me to play a role in a show up there, and then the producer found out that they wouldn't allow him to hire American actors. So unfortunately, if a show is dubbed in Canada, you're not likely to hear any American actors on it. But I'm actually even going to Japan in a couple of weeks to record an e-manga. Check that out. E-manga called Rainy Coco. And I'm playing a lead character in that, and we're actually recording it in Japan. So I'll be able to add Japan to the list. So that's pretty exciting. I can tell you this, the first few times that Ed cried, I was acting. But the whole rest of the time, when Ed was crying, I was crying. I mean, that series really grabbed me in a way that not many series do. And as far as acting that kind of a thing, you're right. It's a very tricky thing. I've heard of actors that were crying in a scene and it sounded like they were laughing. If you just have the sound, sometimes you can't tell. So part of being a voice actor is knowing how to control your voice, knowing how to manipulate it in such a way that it communicates the emotion that you're going for. And crying is probably one of the more difficult ones to do. It just really comes down to training and experience, practice, practice, and practice.
Can you tell me a little bit about Singularity?
Absolutely. The Singularity is a really cool, kind of a high-tech suspense short film that I played the lead in. It's about this quirky, super intelligent professor at a university who develops a computer that becomes kind of self-aware, and it starts manipulating the other machines and computers all around the town to do away with this professor's co-workers who don't support his project. And had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Worked on it with a couple of really good friends. Matt Busey, the DP, and Matthew Ewald, who played one of the other characters, is a real good friend. It was a lot of fun. Check it out if you get a chance to.
And can you tell me a little bit about your upcoming movie, Mass Effect: Paragon Lost?
Ooh.
Because I think they
all the good stuff.
I think they just released a 9-minute preview of it.
I am so excited about that. It was so much fun to be a part of. I mean, obviously Mass Effect is a very popular game, and I know so many of the voice actors that did the original game, and to get to play a role in an original animation based on Mass Effect is a super privilege, and I'm very, very privileged to have gotten asked to play a character. Justin Cook from Funimation directed it. That's a Funimation production, and I was super jazzed, super excited to be a part of it. Yeah. I don't want to give anything of the story away, but I can tell you that it's pretty cool, and I think the Mass Effect fans will really I think they'll really enjoy it.
And now, do you play games?
I don't get to play games very much because I work so much. I don't get the chance to play a lot of the things. I don't get a chance to watch a lot of the things that I'm in. There are only a handful of anime series that I've actually seen in their entirety. I'm embarrassed to say, but no, I don't get to play. The last video game I played was Donkey Kong Jr. That tells you how long ago I played video games. Gotta go. Gotta fly away.
All ready?
Got to go. That's for Sophia. I scare her.